Hi there, how you going? It's Jen Edge here. I am coming to you and talking to you all about mindset today and how important it is, or where it sort of fits into your being able to optimize your health and well-being. So, as I said, my name is Jen Edge and I'm a life coach, a physiotherapist, presenter and a co-author of a book as well. And I'm really passionate about helping people to elevate their energy levels, to boost their health, and so they can have the optimal life that they want and that longevity, but with good health as well. And basically, I find that a lot of people don't understand how powerful they are. You know, how powerful they are, how powerful their body and their mind is, and how they can actually utilize those things about themselves and their capabilities to create the life that they truly want. So what I'm going to be talking to you about today is 3 key areas. So we're going to be talking about a growth mindset and understanding what that means. What is a growth mindset? And this is taken from a fantastic lady called Carol Dweck, and she came up with this idea of a growth mindset, and I'm going to be talking to you a lot about that as well. The other thing is how your thoughts, your feelings, and your body interact, and just understanding that yes, mindset is very important, right? It's really at the core of everything, but you can't just change your mindset. You can't just work on that one thing. You have to really work on all 3 areas. And then lastly is your system for change. So understanding that you have to have a system to be able to actually change, right? It's not something that you can just magically change just like that overnight. You have to have a system and put the system in place. So over the years of working with clients and patients, I've noticed that these 3 things can really help you to actually overcome a lot of the problems that people face. Now, one of the 3 things, I'm going to talk about the 3 problems that people have as well. And those things are a lack of awareness. Okay, so when we're trying to increase our energy levels or improve our health and well-being, a lot of people have a lack of awareness. And what does that mean? Well, it could be a lack of awareness of the things that are actually causing the problem. Okay, so what are the habits? What are the thoughts? What's the mindset that's actually causing this problem to occur or causing this issue to occur? And then also, what are the obstacles in our way? A lot of us don't know have an awareness around what the obstacles are in our way. And then secondly is how to actually overcome them. A lot of us, maybe we don't have the skill set, or we're not able to actually shift our mindset so that we can actually overcome those obstacles. So first step is lack of awareness, or the first problem is lack of awareness. The next one is inconsistency. So inconsistently taking action, okay? And then that leads to people giving up. So you probably tried to, I don't know, maybe one of the biggest things that people have in health and well-being is losing weight, okay? So you've probably tried some way to lose weight in the past, whether it's going to the gym, just getting out and doing some exercise, whether it's changing your diet, going on a diet. It could be a number of different things. Generally, they're the 2 biggest things that people try. And what I find though is if you're not taking consistent targeted action, then you're going to give up at some point. And the reason why is because, well, it's just like shooting a shotgun, right? It's sort of like, they're just everywhere. It's not targeted into one thing. And inconsistency is one of the biggest issues because it's hard. Sometimes it is hard to stay motivated. And we'll talk a little bit about that as well, as to why it's hard to stay motivated when you are trying to change your patterns, change your mindset, change your health, and change your results. And the third problem that people come up against as well is this lack of accountability or support. So you'll notice that when you try and do things all by yourself, when you try and do things on your own, and you're trying to take all the responsibility, that you probably haven't had the best results. Right? So again, when you go to the gym, a lot of people will need a trainer. That's why we have trainers. That's why we have coaches, like life coaches, for making significant life changes, right? Lifestyle changes, for changing your health. We've got all types of coaches and mentors because we need support. We are built as a human race to be able to form communities, okay, we're basically at the core, we're herd animals. We like to be included, and we like to feel like we're supported and guided to actually making changes and actually getting to solutions. So it's a matter of really understanding that those three things are going to be something that you really are going to come up against. If you don't address them, then unfortunately you're going to struggle and potentially give up, quit, and not get the results that you're wanting. And also, you're just going to think it's too hard, right? Like, it's too hard to get results, but it's not true. If you address all these things, and one of those things is mindset, then you're off to a really good start. So I'm just going to be talking today about what is mindset, why it's important in your health and well-being, understanding a little bit more about that, and understanding this triad of things. So your thoughts, your feelings, and your body, and how they all interact together. We will be talking also about growth mindset, as I mentioned before, and then giving you some tips on how to actually make those changes stick, because that's the problem, right? So we can make changes, but do they actually stick long term? That's the challenge, isn't it? That's the challenge, is changing those habits, changing those thought patterns, changing our behavior. Can be really difficult because it does take effort, doesn't it? It does take you doing things differently. And fortunately or unfortunately for people that want to change, is that our brains are actually wired to primarily for our survival, right? They will search out our environment, and they will access parts of our mind to just, okay, what do I need to survive here? And that requires you probably just to continue to do the same thing again and again, because that helps you to conserve energy. And on a very simplistic, a survival mechanism kicks in, and it's like, no, we just want to play it safe because I know that I can do this and the results are predictable. So you are going to have to step outside that comfort zone, which I know is probably a little bit cliche, but the thing is, it's true. It works. It's really what works. So, and you would have noticed that before, is that when you've had results in the past, when you've had to do something to get a particular result, you've had to do things differently, right? You've had to push yourself outside of your comfort zone, and that's where you get the results. You don't get different results by doing the same thing all the time. We all know this, and we've got proof of this from our past, but sometimes when it comes to our lifestyle, when it comes to making those lifestyle changes, it is hard, right? You can see that at work. Potentially you can see that in your workplace. Okay, I need to do it this way. And really, it's the definition of insanity, as Albert Einstein said, is doing the same thing again and again and expecting a different result. So we are going to have to push ourselves outside of our comfort zone and look in a different direction to get those results. So I just want to give you a little bit of a background about me. I moved out to Dubbo from Sydney about 7 months ago now for a job opportunity. And I started off as a physiotherapist. I graduated in 2004, and I then, as I went along as a physio, though, I was really noticing how the interaction between mind and body and emotions as well, and just noticing how they were all impacting on each other so heavily that when I was really predominantly just treating the physical, just treating the body for the injury, there was a lot of other stuff coming up that I didn't feel equipped to deal with, and a lot of things that were really affecting even my treatment, my effectiveness of my treatment. And so I went off to train to be a life coach, and because I wanted to help people in the other areas of their life as well, and understand how it could potentially make me a better therapist as a physio. And now I just absolutely love the life coaching side of my physio, but also do life coaching separately as well. So on its own as a standalone thing, running workshops, running half-day retreats, doing all sorts of things. But mainly it's all around helping people to grow, helping people to get better results in their health, in their levels of happiness. It could even go out to your freedom, your sense of freedom in life, your finances, your family, your amount of fitness and the amount of fun that you want to have in life. So all of these things, they're so heavily intertwined that we really can't separate them out. So, but it's figuring out what's at the core of that. And for me, a lot of the time, that really is mindset. So I want to just basically have an idea of, okay, what is mindset? And I'd love to hear if you have any comments at all about this, understanding what is mindset. I'd love to hear from you because, I want this to be interactive because otherwise it's me just sitting here talking to the camera. But I'd love you to come back and with any comments, if you have any comments at all, about what is mindset, what does it mean to you? Well, to me, and in all the research that I've done, it's a number of different things. It is quite layered. And it is things like, okay, what are my values? Your values will affect what your mindset is and what sort of direction you take your life in. So your values are part of your mindset, your attitude, your beliefs are part of your mindset, your identity, how you identify as a person, all those different roles that you play, that's all part of your mindset as well. And even your purpose in life. So if this idea of what brings my life meaning, what is my purpose in life, and understanding that all of these things come under this idea of, okay, what is mindset? So the thing is with mindset is it really forms this base, okay, for change. It's not the be all and end all. It's not everything. You can't just do mindset and expect everything to change. You have to put things into action. You have to work on potentially shifting some emotions as well. But it does really form this solid base, okay? And so you really do need to do the work to discover and potentially shift some of those things that are in your mindset that are not giving you the results that you desire and when we're talking about specifically in your health and in your well-being and in your happiness and fulfillment in life. So I want you to think about if you were to book somewhere, so say you're driving somewhere and you've never been to this particular destination before. And so how are you going to know where to go? Okay, so there are options. You can either use a map or you can use your GPS. Now, two things that you need, two simplistic things that you need. Okay, you need to know your destination, obviously, on the map, or you need to put that into your GPS. And you also need, what else does it need to know? It needs to know your starting point. Okay, so without your starting point, that makes it very difficult, impossible for your GPS to determine the route that it's going to take. So by determining your starting point, what does this mean in personal growth, in your health and well-being? Well, it means you need to know where you're starting, and become aware of the things that you're doing that are giving you your current results. So it could be lots of different things. It could be partly your mindset. It could be maybe you've got some emotional baggage or some memories or some trauma even that's actually determining how you're acting as well in your life and what results you're getting. And then also is how you move your body as well. So the movement and other things like posture. I mean, that can actually really influence how you're feeling and then obviously how you interact with other people. But it's developing this awareness that really is part of the process, okay? Without developing that awareness, you can't determine where your starting point is, and then it makes it very difficult to get to your destination. So the other thing I just remembered, I just want to grab something. All right, just disappearing there for a second. So I did bring with me a whiteboard, so I can just draw something for you. Just so, look, I'm a visual person. I don't know if you are a visual person, but I like to draw things, I'm not an artist, but I like to have things so that I can see them and the visual representation. So what I'd like to do is just draw this for you and just give you an idea. I mean, it's pretty simplistic, but I do want to give you an idea. So basically what we want to do is form this triangle. Okay, so down the bottom here, we've got our thoughts and we've got our feelings. Whoops, lucky that's, I can spell, great. And then we've got our body. Okay. Oh, actually that's going to be actions. I'll get to that in a sec. Okay, so you've got your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. So all of these things, as we said, they all interact and they all play off each other. But at the basis of this, you've got your thoughts. They will really be one of the biggest determining factor of how you feel and then how you act, okay, your behavior. So if you're thinking something repeatedly and it's not particularly, say that you're thinking, okay, I don't know, we're just going for health and well-being. Say I'm really unhappy, right? Or I'm really overweight, I'm really fat, or I'm gross, or something like that. Then that will make you feel a certain way. You will not feel good about yourself. You'll have potentially low confidence levels. If we say, okay, now I've got low confidence levels, maybe I have a lack of self-worth as a result, then your actions will reflect that. Do you think that if you have low confidence and low self-worth, that you're going to go out and want to meet people and want to do things in life and experience life? Or do you think that potentially that will be playing on your mind and potentially determine whether that you're probably going to stay home, potentially on your own, or just and just feel sorry for yourself? Which, look, it's that's pretty valid when you get stuck in this particular triangle. Now, the thing that we want to write here is this is your mindset, okay? Your feelings. Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Oh my goodness, you'd think I haven't done this before. Okay, so this is your head. I'm just making it, I want to make it all the same letter. Your head, your heart. It's really hard to write this way, actually. Your head, heart, and hand. Okay, so that makes sense, right? So you've got your thoughts, which are in your head, your feelings, which are more heartfelt, and then your actions, which are done by your body or your hand. So what we want to do is we want to align these three areas, and you can't just change the one, right? You can't just change your thoughts and expect your feelings and actions to change dramatically. You need to be able to work on all three. It's basically like a 2 versus 1. If you worked on 2 of them, the last one sort of caves in and gives way to the changes. But you need to have, and I've actually heard this from Dr. Joe Dispenza, who's a really fantastic gentleman in the world of personal development. He talks a lot about, thoughts are the language of the mind and feelings are the language of the heart, which I really love. So I think that if you can align these 3 areas well and you actually work on actively changing these 3 areas, then that will actually help you to elevate your health, boost your energy levels, and actually have that level of well-being and happiness that you desire in life. So that's just a little visual representation there, which I wanted to draw up for you. So the other thing I wanted to talk to you about as well is this idea of a growth mindset, right? I talked a little bit about this, mentioned it before. So when we talk about a growth mindset, I've got a nice, again, there's a visual that you can, if you just look this up on the internet, you can find it. I've got I've got something here that is, if we look at this, it has 2 pictures here. So it's got your fixed versus your growth mindset. So if we look at your growth mindset, this is, as I said, this is based on the work of Dr. Carol Dweck, D-W-E-C-K, okay? And she talks about people who have a growth mindset, they desire this continuous learning, whereas someone that has a fixed mindset actually just wants to avoid potential failure, okay? So you can see how that mindset would then determine your behavior and your actions as well. The people with a growth mindset as well, they confront uncertainties. Okay, so they will actually go forward and actually seek out situations which provide uncertainty. Whereas if you're looking at someone who's in the fixed mindset, they just want to look smart. They don't want to make these mistakes. They don't want people to catch them out and think that they're not capable people. These people also embrace challenges. Okay, they're not afraid to fail. So you can tell that these sorts of people must be, there's quite a vulnerability there for them. They put lots of effort into learning, and they're not concerned about getting feedback because they don't take it personally. They actually use it to fuel their progress. Okay, they're using it constructively, and they're like, okay, I can use that to actually move forward. Whereas if someone that has a fixed mindset, they're going to be looking at that and going, I don't want any feedback, because they take it to heart and they think that it's like a personal attack on them, rather than them being able to see that it's designed to help them to move forward and grow. So they're just going to stick with what they know. Okay, so they're going to stick with what they know, and we class this as staying inside our comfort zone. Okay, so they're going to stay inside their comfort zone because, well, that's where it's safe, right? I have certainty, I have security there. But unfortunately, anything that you really want in life that is worth getting, where is it? It's on the outside of that comfort zone. Okay, and you know this. We all know this to be true. Athletes are classics for this. You know, you have to push yourself outside your comfort zone to get anywhere as an athlete. Yeah, you're not going to be able to just, train at this, sort of 50% level and expect to go to the Olympics and win a gold medal. You're not going to be able to, you can't have children without expecting a fair bit of discomfort. All right. So all of these things, you can't get ahead in your job by just doing the same old and sticking inside your comfort zone. You have to be able to push yourself and potentially go into a little bit of a risky situation. It feels a bit uncertain. It feels maybe a little bit of anxiety there, but that's where we get the results. So what I'd like to just cover now is, how do we do this? Like, how do we actually process all of this information? How do we put it into practice? Okay, so I've got 4 steps for you, which is this, you potentially call this the system for change. Okay, so the first one is clarity. You need to create clarity about what is your destination, okay? If we're thinking back to this GPS, you need to create clarity in life about what your destination is when it comes to your health and well-being. So clarity is the first step, all right? And with your clarity, you've got other steps involved in that. So you need to have really, really strong reasons as to why you want to achieve this thing. Because if you don't have strong reasons, guess what? You're going to give up, you're going to quit, you're going to just pack it all in and go back to doing what's easier, going back to the safe option. So we need to have really strong reasons why, so that remembering when we want to give up, we come back to those reasons, and that gives us a lot of our motivation again. Because motivation is not an external thing, is it? It's an internal thing. It has to be driven from within. And most of the time, the motivation is your why. Why do you want to do this thing? Why are you willing to put yourself outside your comfort zone to get what you want? The other thing you need to do is break down the process. Okay, so break down, how am I going to get to, say if you've got a big goal, if you want to lose 30 kilos, you can't, that's a big thing, right? That's a big goal to potentially have. So how are you going to get there? You need to break that down into steps, and you need to appreciate that that's going to be a process and work through the process. Don't expect to get there quickly, because a lot of the time I've found that when people lose weight quickly, they will put it on just as quickly. Okay, so weight loss is a long-term strategy, because we want to have long-term change, right? It's not about losing weight fast, it's about losing weight permanently. The other thing is writing down what it is that you want, right? Making sure, because we have so many thoughts per minute, we have about 1,500 thoughts per minute, okay, running through our brain, taking us in all different directions. So you want to make sure that you have this clarity of thought and you write it down onto a piece of paper. It doesn't sound that difficult, does it? These are not complicated ideas, but it's just the secret is in the simplicity. All right, so value simplicity here, valuing what works, and just get in there and give it a go. The next thing is developing that awareness that we need of what are we doing at the moment, what's giving us our results, what's our starting point, and then what are the obstacles in our way. A lot of the time, the obstacles are ourselves. Okay, so it's being able to look inwards, introspectively, look at ourselves and go, okay, how am I potentially putting up all of these obstacles? And if we're looking at still the destination, the start point, the GPS analogy, you could actually call these potholes. Okay, and you could call them, okay, these are my potholes that I keep coming up. The thing is, if you don't address the potholes, it's going to potentially throw you off course. It's going to slow down your journey. Okay, and potentially if you keep going, it's going to damage you, yeah, and it's going to stop you. You're going to give up. So we don't want that to happen. So address the potholes, right? Become aware of what they are and be able to do the work to actually address them, fill them in, so you can have a smoother ride. Okay, then the next one is taking action. All right, it has to be consistent, targeted action, because otherwise, you're not going to get results consistently. We want to see results as we're going, so we know that it's worth the effort that we're putting in and the discomfort that we're feeling as we're going as well. And this requires you to design a simple plan. Right? We talked about breaking down the goal, putting this plan into play, and actually taking the action that you need. I usually just go with one goal at a time. Some people like more, but I would start off with the one goal, because most of the time the health and energy, well-being is at the core of a lot of things in life, right? So really addressing that and coming down to the mindset, the values, the beliefs, the identity, the purpose, all of those things are driving the behavior and your results. So I really would start there with that. And then lastly is getting a coach, okay? Funny I should say that, right? Getting a coach or a mentor, finding a mentor or a coach that will help you and guide you and support you through the process. They're not there to do it for you. They're there to support you along the way. We talked about having your trainer at the gym, right? Any athlete has a coach. Any successful athlete has a coach. Business people have business coaches. Why not have a life coach? Why not have a coach for your health? Okay, understanding that this is really the difference between getting to that destination in one piece or not getting to the destination at all, or really it's going to take you twice as long and with twice as much effort. So that's pretty much me from now. That's pretty much all from me for now. Just quickly, I wanted to review with you. So the three areas that we talked about growth mindset versus fixed mindset from the brilliant Carol Dweck. We also talked about that interaction between your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions, and how you can't just change one. Even though mindset is at the core of it, you can't just change your mindset, right? You can't just sit there and think your way into being healthy. You can't think your way into losing weight. You can't think your way into having more energy. You need to address the other things as well. So it really does take all three of those areas working together. Lastly is we talked about this system for change. We talked about putting things into practice, okay, having the clarity, having the awareness, taking targeted action, and getting a coach or someone that will help you along the way. It's very hard to make this progress on your own because you need someone outside of yourself to see what you're doing. You may be sabotaging yourself and you can't see it. We've got the blinders on, right? This person can help you to see that. And if they're open and honest with you, and really not letting you get away with anything and holding you accountable, then that's when you get those results. Now, if anything in this video sparked interest for you, if you found it really interesting, I'd love to hear any comments that you've got for me. Otherwise, you can also DM me. If you were to head over to @GenEdgeCoach, which is my Facebook page, then you can contact me directly through there, because I do health visioning sessions, which are a 45-minute complimentary session over the phone that can help you potentially figure out what it is that you want, what's in your way, and come up with some strategies to help you get it. So I'm really passionate about doing that work with people because I just, there's so much benefit in it, isn't there? Just having the energy, having the health, having the well-being, so you can go out and live this amazing, amazing life. Not that you're maybe not already, but even more amazing, and just take it up a notch. Okay, that's all from me for now. I hope that that this resonated with you, and I hope that you really enjoyed this. I want to leave you with one quote from Stephen Pressfield. It says, most of us, I'm just going to read this so I don't stuff it up. Most of us have two lives, the life we live and the unlived life within us. Between the two stands resistance. So, have a think about that. Have a fantastic afternoon, and I'll talk to you soon.